Now we are continuing again related to log record. So already I covered the architecture where log records in the topic building blocks for the transaction log, where we are discuss what is the physical file, virtual log file, then what is the log blocks, and then log record. And in log record also I explain what are the fields which are available, okay, and what is the data structures it is used, like linked list I already cover. Just reviewing whatever I cover with the different format. Okay, now as I said, log record for every change happening in database, any operation, it generate one record for each operation. So I said for each operation it is generated one record and it stored in log block. Okay, and this it has is one unique log sequence number, and next you observe data page, data file is page. In data page contain header and next body. In header I forgot actually how much amount of memory it can define for header of the data file. In the header of the data file, one column is there, that is log sequence number. Okay, this header, data file header, store the whatever data available in this file will become up to the log sequence number from the from the log record. Okay, suppose why it is used is that whenever any crash occur or after restarting, it check that LSN number, last LSN number. So then from that page header LSN number, it compare with the log record in the log block. It check this LSN number is the final LSN number of the commit, else it is in the middle of the transaction. If it is in the middle of the transaction, and then it check whether this transaction is committed transaction or uncommitted transaction. If committed transaction, then whatever data available for that record for the transaction, after that record whatever stored in page header, it is forward traversing, that means inserting the data in the data file by seeing the LSN number. Next, if LSN number is there which is belonging to the log block particular record, and that record is the not committed record, it is uncommitted transaction record, then it is redo in the data file until the some previous committed transaction. That's why page header will maintain the LSN number. What is the current LSN number? It is page data file is nothing but the after summary of the record only, we can say. Next thing is, okay, these log records whatever stored in log block, they are interleaved log record. Okay, what is interleaved log record? This is log block. This contain record 1, record 2, record 3, record 4, record 5, like that multiple records are appending to this log block. But in a system there are transaction 1 is processing, transaction 2 is processing, though transaction 3, these three are running concurrently by a single thread. Let us take parallelly, but here not parallelly, concurrently it is running single thread. Transaction manager take the responsibility to execute one transaction for certain duration. then it shift the thread to certain duration. It shift the thread to certain duration. Like this it is shifting, okay, but single thread only. Okay, whenever it is executing the transaction happening in that means transaction 1 is processing at the time T1 records are available of T1, then shift is happened to transaction 2 by the same thread, then T2, again shift is come to T1, then T1. So what here I am saying that whatever log records available in blocks, those are in interleaved log records. That means for each transaction there is no isolation, again blocks are there, all are in mixed for. But how can we can filter the log record based on the one column, one field is there in log record. If the record belonging to transaction type, it store the T1 value. Okay, from the T1 value we can able to identify filter, and we know that it is based on the linked list only. So linked list will store the suppose this is transaction 1 is processing current LSN. Here one LSN is there generated and store in log block, and this LSN is updated, then shift to the next transaction. So their current transaction is always in the thread scope, sorry, in task scope, and each individual transaction whatever the lesson number internally in task scope, but in so there it will be mapping is happening, logical mapping for a linked list. Okay, but next thing is you observe there is a timestamp column is there. I am saying that these are the not running in parallel, it is running in concurrent only, concurrent mode. That means you observe in the log record any one record didn't find the unique time, but it is always different time when you compare based on the millisecond, nanosecond. You observe the difference because we are not running here transaction log manager will run T1, then if not completed then it is hold in some wait mode, another T2 come there and it is also wait mode, then T1 go, but transaction manager always executing only one transaction at a time. Okay, that way whenever it is executing it generated the timestamp. That's why we are saying that it is getting always getting the unique transaction timestamp. Okay, then next we will discuss what are the log contents, log record content, what actually it is content. I am what is the data structure, data model, we can say that. I already covered this one. There are multiple log record types. Okay, for each log record there may be some new some are common fields, some are specific to the respective log record type. Some are common means general log records are general fields are which is common for every log record. That is one is log record type. This field help to identify this record is belonging to which type. Okay, transaction ID, actually this ID will be 0 but didn't have any value for the records which is other than transaction. For transaction and inside the transaction whatever DML records are there, for that records only transaction IDs are there. Means wherever rollback is happening, required to those log record only transaction ID is there. For other it became null, then it became 0. Then previous LSN number, what is the length of content. So content is what is there is actual data is there. This data how much length it is there. Okay, these are the common. And next, other records are specific to the respective type. Now let us take, now we are modifying the data, fetching the data, modifying the data, and updating to the file. Updating to the file through validate mechanism. First it is creating the log. Which log here it is creating during updation? It is creating record type is modify record type, for which it is modifying the log modify row. This is the log record type, it is log record type. This one is modify log. Okay, here whatever fields which are required for general, those fields are there, but other extra fields is like row log content 0, row log content 1. This row log content 0 and content 1 is nothing but before updation to the data, what is the actual data available in the data file for the respective row to which we are updating. That data will be stored in this content 0. This is old data, okay, before updation. Now content 1 contain what new data we are updating, that data is recorded. Here it is recorded. So it is help that during recovery it will be identify that this record type is modifying the data. If crashes is occur, then what is old data, from where it is getting, from record type log content 0 is the old data. It is just updating that old data. Okay, this one specific to modify row only, log content 0 and content 1. Okay, and I missed one thing, that page ID also there and slot ID is there. In it is also maybe common or log modify, exactly no idea, but page ID is the attribute is available. This log record is affecting to which page. Slot ID also is there, means during modifying in the page, the row where it is available, that slot ID also stored in the log record. Okay, mostly page ID and slot ID which is required to those record which are come under the context of cluster index heap. Wherever context related to heap is there, indexes related to context is there, their page ID and slot ID will be required. So those data also stored in log record. So conclusion from as of now, log modify row contain what is the transaction ID. This modification is belonging to which transaction, and what is the operation, log modify operation. Modification is doing context, it is doing for which one heap, either index. Then page ID belonging to the heap index. Before that, unit name means it is doing for table or which table it is updating, and in the table it is updating or in index, then what is the index name, that one also storing here in log record. All metadata related to operation what it is doing, and page ID and slot ID. Then offset in row, what is the data we are updating, what is the length of the data, before updating what data is there, after updating what data is there, those all thing. Okay, again I am repeating for them because it is important. Modify row. What is the transaction ID? What is current LSN number? What is the previous LSN number? What operation it is doing, and belonging to which context, whether heap or index. If heap, what is the table name? If index, what is the index name? And in the particular table, what page data, which page you are modifying, page ID. In the particular page, which slot you are modifying, slot ID. And what is the offset of that slot, means memory where it is available in the page. For that slot ID means for that row in the page, what is the address. Then what data you are updating, which is available in row log content. Before updating, what is the available previous data is here, which is stored in log content 0. And then how much bytes we are sending here in content 1, that is the length. Okay, these are the fields which I explained, which I said specific to modify row, but I miss other fields also there, like